Hi, my name is Sarah Sutton, and the first point I want to address is how I welcome the families and children into the conference. So I would first start off by welcoming the parents, either by their last name, so like Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so, or if we have built a good enough relationship, I would address them by their first names. For the children, if they are involved in the conference, I would get down to their level and I would address them by their first name as well. And then also, I would try to start a little bit of a conversation with them, like ask them what they did today that they enjoyed or how their day was overall, just to make them feel more comfortable. And just as important as their parents, because I feel like most children this age haven't really gotten to experience a parent-teacher conference, so it might be a new situation and they might be a little nervous about it. So my first um, reason for holding a conference would be to talk about and assess the different developmental areas with the child. Um, the reason for holding the conference would be, in my example, because this 5-year-old in my pre-K class, which is ages 4 and 5 years old, is falling behind socially and physically. So for instance, like she might have balance issues, or she might not be using the utensils properly during mealtime. She might still be feeding herself with her hands, or that she typically plays by herself or with the same few toys during free playtime. I would start the conference off by asking the parents if they have any questions or concerns about their child, and then build off from there. If they don't have any, then I would start with my concerns. So I would talk about what I've noticed in the classroom, and maybe if they've noticed the same things, they can jump in or anything like that. For this particular example, I would have proof. So I would make a developmental checklist that has like 10 different tasks per developmental area. So like, can jump with both feet leaving the ground at the same time, or often talks to friends during mealtime or something like that, and just show these are the things she should be doing, this is what she is doing, this is what she isn't doing, and then that will give them proof of what I'm seeing within the classroom. I would also use that to bring a positive aspect into the conference, because I think having it all be negative is a little depressing and would make the parents feel like they are doing a bad job or something. So for this particular example, like if she's doing very well cognitively and has good problem solving skills, I would make a point to point that out, because I think that is important to show them that she's still a very good student and that she just needs some work on these particular things. At this point, I would maybe give them some articles or tips of how they can help work on different tasks at home. I would ask about their routine to see if they have any time to work on these different things with her, like if they have an outdoor area at home where she can run around and work on her physical development, or ask if there are any other children in the home. I think this is really important, because not only do children learn through experiences, but if they have other people there to help them their own age, it would make it easier. So like if they have another sibling at home, like I would prompt the parents to work on that with them and with the other child as well, just as a support system. For how and when it would be held, in my personal experience, the facility that I would work at has set days for conferences. So we put up a sign up sheet a week or two before, and parents can sign up for different times. Most times parents usually schedule around pickup time, which I think would be very beneficial, because they're already there. They don't have to come in at a different time. It doesn't really interrupt their schedule that much. Plus, if there is an aide, it wouldn't be like that big of a deal if one teacher had to leave the room for a set amount of time, because there would be another person in there to still watch the other children. And I wouldn't really set a time limit unless another one was scheduled for after. this particular one, but from my personal experience, they haven't usually gone over at least half an hour or so. So I don't think it would be a big issue if there were ones close together in time. But I think it would just be very important to be very upfront with the parents and tell them, like, this is what's going on, this is why I think it's happening, and this is what we can do to help. And I think it's important to include the parents in this discussion because they also deal with these things at home, and they need to know what's going on with their child just as much as I need to go know what's going on with their child as well. So for my second example, the reason for the conference would be to facilitate a free-flowing exchange of questions and information to increase mutual knowledge and respect. So my example for this conference is that a child has recently been taken into a foster home after being taken from their parents, and has recently started at the daycare facility kind of abruptly and without much notice. So I would just want to talk with the parents about the child, maybe about their situation. I would just want to get to know more about their family and their routines at home, and information that I would need to know that would benefit the child in my classroom and make them feel comfortable and safe. This would also be a time I would ask about any previous education, like if they had ever been in a daycare facility before, any goals that they wish to get out of this daycare experience, like for instance, being able to spell their name or hold a pencil properly, just anything that they want to get out of this experience. And it would also be a beneficial time to have the parents ask information about me if they need to, like if they want to know anything about me. I would also give them information about our classroom, so like our routines, our schedule, our curriculum, and I think this would also be a beneficial time to let them know if they need to bring anything into the classroom. So for instance, at my daycare, we let the children bring in blankets for nap time, and we send them home weekly to get washed, to give them a feeling of being comfortable and having something from home that gives them like a security feeling. We also have them bring in water bottles because we have frequent water bottle breaks, like water drink breaks throughout the day, and they need to provide their own cup or water bottle or something. So I think this would be a good time to just introduce them to our policies, our rules, our expectations, and anything like that. I would tell the parents about this conference pretty straight up. I would just tell them that it would be a time for us to have conversation and get to know more things about each other and the children without interruption. I think most parents would think that is very beneficial for the both of us and wouldn't have a problem with scheduling a conference for that reason. So I would preferably not have children around for this conference. I wouldn't want to bring up any topics that might upset them or bring back bad memories or something, since it is such a fragile topic. I would still have the parents schedule the conference based on their availability, so I would let them pick the time, and since it is such a random conference, I don't think the facility would have set dates, so I think it would be whenever we are both mutually available. And I would just once again reiterate that I just want to know things about the child to benefit them in my classroom, and have things that would make them be more comfortable, because it is such a fragile situation and such randomness and spontaneity in the joining a new daycare randomly. I think it would just help the child feel more comfortable and secure being put into such a situation. Having me know more about them would just be beneficial to all.